What's up YouTube, this is Buckshot33, aka Boston Chris, and I am back with a brand new video. It's been a little bit, it's been probably a little over a week since I've done a video. I usually tend to make one about a week apart, but this has been a pretty busy time for me right now. I was able to get my books on last Wednesday, and I just haven't had time to make videos. Right now, well, last Saturday was the baby shower for my daughter. That's, she's on the way, and so we're getting everything ready for that, for the party, for also for getting her room ready and everything. So just a lot of stuff on my plate with that. And I was also transitioning from leaving one job to moving into a new job. So just one of those things where you try to tie up all the loose ends you can, plus you gotta plan or at least help finalize the details on a baby shower and get this baby's room ready because she's on her way. So definitely just a lot at once, and I really wanted to make the video. I just didn't have the time, but now I do. So guess what? I hope you're ready for some comics. I got some stuff from last week that I'm definitely gonna go ahead and show you guys. I hope that you guys like it. So let's start off with. Actually, I got one other thing too. Got a fresh new look for my new job. So if you can tell, you don't see all that wispy, crazy hair in the back that I normally have. It's all gone. And this is this new style that I'm rocking. See this? Nice and neat and clean. Isn't that beautiful? I should definitely try to keep it more like that. I just, every once in a while I like to let it go long. So, and this is one for, kind of a request that I had, and a bet that was almost made to me by Undisputed Frost. Frost is a really cool dude. He's a funny guy, and he was like, "Oh, how come you never wear your hat to the front?" Well, now I can. I have plenty of hair that is not just out there. I look a little different like this. I don't know. I don't fully feel. It's definitely something that it's a different look for me. I like the hat to the back. So, but just to give you a preview, or just to give you a glimpse of what I look like with my hat forward, because I don't have all that wispy long hair in the back, I don't mind doing it like this. I don't think I'm going to do every video like this, just because it's not really my style, but, and I'll say that for others, but it's all good. For now, you've seen it, so back to our regularly scheduled program. Put the hat to the back, but let's get to these comics, just because, like I promised you, I have a good haul for you. So starting out, I went to a local shop of mine and I saw this book, and it's a book I already have, but it's a book that has a low print run, so I figured, pick up another one just because it's there. And it's an indie book that I enjoy. I think it's a pretty funny story, and that is called Hedge Girl. This is issue number 10, and it's by Scout Comics, and it's a pretty funny story. I've talked about this with every issue that I've gotten. I think the only one that I was missing was issue number 4, and I'm pretty sure I picked that up a while back. I have to go back to my boxes and check. I haven't actually picked one up. I haven't picked up a Hedge Girl book in a long time, just because 10, the original release of 10 was quite a while ago, and they haven't really put anything out. I've been looking, but I haven't found it. Lo and behold, when I went to my local shop, I was able to actually find issue number 11, which is really cool because, like I said, I've been waiting for this to come out for a while. It's been at least 2 or 3 months, and I'm not sure if they were just taking a break, if it was just kind of like, first series is done, they did, a run of 10 issues, and then they're taking a break for a couple months, or what was going on. I'm not even sure if they're already up to issue, like, let's say, like 14 maybe, and, I'm just lagging behind. Like I said, low print run book. My local shop gets them, not as frequently as they should, and so what happens is, it's a book that I should have put on my pull list, and I'm probably gonna have to go ahead and do that, because I don't want to miss any of it. But like I said, it's a fun series, more of a comedy series than anything serious. But so if you're into that type of stuff, you like to have a just a comic to make you laugh every once in a while, definitely a book worth picking up. Like I said, low print run. So if you do see it and you're curious, just pick it up, see what you think. If you like it, put it on your pull list. If not, pass it by, let it go. But I like it, so I think it's a pretty good story. But You know, to each his own. Everybody check out the books that they like and collect what you love. That's the most important thing. So, continuing on, another book that I picked up. This is a book I picked up a while ago, but I think it was like maybe like 2 weeks ago I picked this up. And this is, you know, really cheap, nice book to have, just because the original of this book is pretty expensive, so some people aren't going to be able to afford an actual legitimate copy of this book. So it's good to have these, and this is the True Believer edition of Hulk 181. This is Wolverine versus the Hulk #1. You know, really, really just awesome book to have, awesome story. And I had talked about it before, like, you know, I had never gotten that book. I've never read that book before, and then when I got it, I was actually surprised at how much of the story really did have to do with Wendigo, more so than the Hulk and Wolverine. And basically, those two are the star of the cover, absolutely. But, you know, the real story was, you know, about Wendigo and, you know, everything having to do with him. So definitely a cool read. You know, if you know, are a Wolverine fan, or if you're a Hulk fan, and you've always wanted to read Hulk 181 but couldn't afford it because, let's face it, it's one of the most expensive books out there. As far as, it's one of the most expensive Bronze Age books. It's one of the most sought after books. So, you know, it's going to cost you a pretty penny. But, you know, if you see this in your shop, it's only $1. Same exact story on the inside. So, you know, it's worth getting if you don't have the money to get the actual Hulk 181. Next up, we have a couple more titles here. Let me just put this here. Alright. So, we have a book from Image. It's called The Curse Words. This is #2. And this is a pretty funny story. You know, it's got this magician, you know, young-looking magician with a Merlin beard, who, you know, really foul-mouthed guy, you know, has a really, like, weird sense of humor as far as, you know, the type of stuff he does. He reminds me kind of just, you know, he's just a magician with or a wizard with a bad attitude, but he's pretty cool. I think it's a pretty fun book, you know, worth picking out. Issue #1 was really good. I'm going to really get into issue #2 and check out to see what happens next, but pretty fun book. I liked issue #1 a lot. Next up, we have from DC, one of my Rebirth titles that I like a lot, which is Flash #17. Flash has been a pretty solid story since the beginning of Rebirth. Definitely one that I've you know, stuck with all the way through. But you know, this is you know, the Rogues Reloaded, and you see him, you know, looks like Barry's had enough of Mirror Mask, and he knocks him out right here. And you know, the Rogues have just been introduced over the last few issues, or reintroduced, and now it looks like, you know, he's actually had enough of them. He's gonna go and take the fight to them. So that's pretty cool. And another title that I, you know, actually am really, really liking a lot from Marvel, and partially it's because I'm biased. I'm a big fan of this character, but you know, the other thing is that it's done really, really well. So you know, it's not just a guilty pleasure for me where it's like, oh, this is one of my favorite characters, and I'm just gonna read this because it's, you know, I love this. It's actually a really, really well done book, and I have to read issue #4 right here. But this is Thanos issue #4. The first 3 issues of this book were very solid. I mean, really, really good. So I'm actually really interested to see what goes on next. In the past issue, so issue #3, he took on the entire Shia Honor Guard, and including Gladiator, who you know, ended up being kind of like the, you know, weapon in reserve, and it was a pretty epic fight that happened in that book. So you know, right now he's been captured, and I want to say that this is Thane on the cover, his Thanos' son. So I'm not quite sure how he fits into this, but I'm definitely looking forward to reading it. So, like I've said before, Marvel's been putting out a few books that are really just fluff titles, you know, basically because the characters that they have, some of them are just really hot characters right now. People just like them, so they're just putting out, you know, books featuring them just because it's, you know, the cool thing to do. But, you know, it's something that they need to get back to basics with, and I think that this is one of the titles that actually does it. Like, this actually has good storytelling, great art, and overall it's just a really, really strong and fun story to read. So check it out. You know, see if you like it. If you do, pick it up, because I think this is one of the more strong titles that Marvel's putting out right now. Next we have Amazing Spider-Man number 24, and it's a pretty cool cover. I love these Alex Ross covers. These nice hand-painted, really just like, artsy type covers. When it comes to this story, it's been a pretty good, it's been a good story and a good run so far. Issue number 25 is going to be, I guess, a bigger issue, and it's going to be a pretty pricey issue. I've heard that the price tag is going to be $9.99 for that one, so I really don't like paying that much money for just, a regular issue of a book, even if it is at 25. So, I don't know. I'm going to have to, really think about getting that. But I do know that, the Spider-Man story has been pretty good so far. 1 through 24 have been pretty solid issues. Definitely something to think about and pick up. Next, I have, I really badly wanted to get the Thanos Joe Gisco cover, but they didn't have it at my shop. So I went ahead and I decided to get the Spider-Man Gisco cover. So if you don't know who Joe Jesco is, he is the guy who used to do the art for the Marvel Masterpiece cards way back in the day. And so just wanted to pick up one of those because I saw it in my shop, and I was like, you know what? Pretty cool artist, pretty cool, showing, so I'm going to get that. I couldn't get the Thanos one I wanted, but I do love Spider-Man as well, so I figured I'd pick it up. Next, we have a book that really is a pretty cool indie book. I read through the story. I like the story. It's definitely a different style of, it's a different type of telling of this story, and I think it's a book that people should be getting because it's, it's definitely a pretty cool story, and that is Heathen, number 1. I like this book. Basically, this girl is on a mission to take down Odin, and it's a pretty cool story. Lots of action, lots of really good character development, and overall, I mean, just really nice art in this. Definitely a story I think that kind of shows you the freedom and what people can do when they have the freedom to make the books they want to make. So definitely a great book to pick up. If you want to know more about this, just because I don't do it enough justice in just saying the brief overview, check out Undisputed Frost's channel. He did a full review on this, on Heathen number 1, and it was really good, and he really explains the book very well. So check out his channel. I'll put the link in the description so you can see the full review of this book. Definitely one that I think that people should be checking out just because of how unique of a title it is and how, just what a good story it is. So, just one that, kind of put on the radar and see if you like it. Next, we have a book that I was actually looking for from last week, but I wasn't able to find this cover, but I actually found it, and I was really happy, and that is the Walking Dead homage cover to the Wildcats. This is pretty cool. This is a couple of the books that they're doing for the Image 25th anniversary, so I like this. This is a pretty cool cover. Just the, I remember seeing the actual Wildcats number 1, which at this point is basically, dollar bin. It's been a dollar bin book forever, and everybody's kind of like, hey man, check this cover out. It looks pretty cool. So it's good to see that it's getting the new embrace and the new life that it likes. And also it's kind of funny to note that they are bringing all that back in Image. They kind of revamped the Wildstorm into Image again. So definitely some cool books to check out. Definitely, like, if you missed the first run of Wildcats, you definitely can pick most of them up in a dollar bin. But you have a second chance now with maybe a different direction, different storytelling. But definitely a cool book. Definitely a cool cover. I mean, everybody knows The Walking Dead, so if you're into that, cool cover to have. If not, no problem. Next, we have The Old God. Now, this is the Image number 1, and this is actually a really cool story following the life of these 4 immortals that are part of, I guess, a strike force that handle different special missions. And there's a scene in here. There's a battle scene where they basically get ambushed, and these guys just light them up. and they just basically get shot up, take the shots, look over, like, all right, our turn, and they decimate this whole death squad that came after him. Pretty cool stuff. Really well written. It's by Greg Rucka, so definitely a great title if you like Greg Rucka's. If you like his stories, I feel like this is going to be a fun story to read. So definitely something worth picking up. And then almost done here, guys. I know it's been kind of a long video. So finally we get to the end of this, and we have just a couple of books I picked up from the dollar bin. So I was just every once in a while check the bin, see what's in there, and I actually came across something that was pretty cool. So we have Decimate Black, and what's cool about this is the first appearance of Gen 13. So I was like, oh wow, I was actually really surprised to see this in there for $1. Definitely something that I'm happy to have, just for the fact that I didn't pay a lot of money for it. Next, we have a book that a character that was recommended to me by Gene Paul Peter. He has a great channel, and he likes just tons of different books all over the spectrum, from the keys to really just kind of off the wall, just random characters that are pretty just cool. And he has such passion about how he talks about the stories that it's definitely worth checking his channel out. If you're not checking his channel out, I don't know what to tell you. He's got some great stuff on there. I don't think he's made any new videos recently, but he's got plenty of great stuff on there. So check his stuff out. But the book that this is a character he told me about. That's why I picked this up, and that is X. And this is a Dark Horse character that I guess is supposed to be a really I guess kind of amped up version of the Punisher. He's kind of just a really just gory and really no nonsense type of anti-hero. So I'll have to read this and check it out. But I went by his recommendation. It was kind of funny. He's like, yeah, man, it's he's just a cool character. If you never read him, man, you're missing out. So I trust his recommendations, so I'm glad to have picked this up. Next up, we have this is Transformers by Dreamwave. I've made the mistake a couple times of calling it IDW. It's actually Dreamwave that made these ones. So Dreamwave, this is issue number 0. Again, dollar bin fine. I love the Transformers, so I'll pick these up anytime I see them, for $1. Starting to get a pretty, I think I have issues, so now it's 0 through 6, and that's pretty cool. So 0 through 6, not consecutively, not every single one. I'm missing a couple here and there, but I have no problem checking the dollar bins and finding those. Lastly, we have just a pretty cool book from the 80s. This is Action Comics number 584. I love this cover. It's a nice John Byrne cover, and it's Superman basically taking out the Teen Titans. In the book, he does a number on the Titans. He's just, it's actually kind of funny because, so he's being mind controlled by this guy who's just kind of, just pissed off at the world and doesn't like that, he has no power. So, you see Superman just, going out and just ripping ripping off Cyborg's, arm there, and just really just, he goes to town on these guys, and then they figure out that he's being mind controlled. They restore his mind back to him, but for a while you get to see Superman be kind of a badass and not, really, he's aware of how powerful he is, and just really, just talks down to people, and it's just kind of I guess it's almost in a way kind of like how Injustice Gods Among Us he is, when he kind of loses control and just alright, I know how powerful I am, I just start ripping people apart just because that's what I do. That's what I can do. So it was pretty cool, to see that, and really happy to have, I love John Byrne's art, so just a really, really cool cover. But with that is my haul, so I want to thank you guys for sticking around. I do have a couple other things that I picked up over the weekend, a couple hardcover books that I'll show off, and I do have an unboxing to do. I got one of my top 10 books in the mail, and I haven't done the unboxing yet. I have it sitting right here, so I will go ahead and do that. This video is long enough, so I don't want to, bombard you with, really long. This video is actually a little bit too long, so, I just, get a little long-winded, so I will go ahead and get to the end of this. But check me out. I'm gonna have some stuff coming up pretty soon. I'm gonna make a few more videos and just get everybody caught up to speed, get myself caught up to speed with what I've done. Be sure to check out tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. on JLS Comic Show, the JLS Tuesday live show, Comic Conversation. It's gonna be JLS Comics, myself, Buckshot33, aka Boston Chris, Edwin from Strictly Comics, and Justin from Exile State Comics. We're just going to talk about different stuff having to do with comics, stuff we picked up, also different things having to do with movie news, comic news. So check us out. It's always a great time. Love to have you there. So with that, I'm going to get going. I want to thank you all for watching. I want to thank you for your patience and just waiting for me to get this video up and ready. So thank you for watching. Again, this has been Buckshot33, aka Boston Chris. I am out. Happy collecting. Have a great night.